Time now 6:07. We want to get back to our debate coverage this morning. Interruptions, personal attacks. For some, last night's presidential debate only solidified their choice in candidate, and many agree it was an unusual show.
So joining us right now live via Zoom from Alabama's 4th Congressional District, Congressman Robert Aderholt. Congressman, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good to be with you today.
Nice to have you along bright and early this Wednesday morning. Last night's debate, a lot of people, Congressman, say it was really tough to watch. What's your general take on what was the big takeaway from last evening?
Well, you know, a couple of words come to mind. A very spirited debate, no doubt. But I think it boiled down to one of those situations where that if you were supporting Donald Trump last night, you thought he did great, that he took the lead, he commanded the stage. If you were for Joe Biden, you probably thought he was head and shoulders above Trump. It just comes from perspective. Obviously, I think this was so anticipated debate. I haven't seen the stats on this, but I would imagine this is probably one of the most watched, if not the most watched debates in American presidential history. And so, but I think the bottom line is, you know, of course, I obviously support Donald Trump, and I thought he made a very good case for law and order. I think that was one of his real strong points last night. And I thought Biden was quite weak in that regard. Also, Trump made it very clear that pre-existing conditions will be included. The Republicans are going to include that. Biden, you know, wanted to make the reference that that is something that will not be covered, but that's completely untrue.
Congressman, President Trump told his opponent last night, he said he's done more in office in 47 months than Joe Biden's done in 47 years in public office. Obviously, it sounds like you agree with that statement.
Well, yes, you know, as I say, I think Donald Trump has done a good job leading the country over the last 4 years, and I think he deserves another 4 years. I think the record speaks for itself. And so I think that's one of the most memorable lines last night is that 47 months versus 47 years, because I think Donald Trump has been able to cut through a lot of red tape and really get to the bottom line on so many things. And that's what frustrates so many Americans is that there's no common sense in Washington. And President Trump wants to cut through the red tape. He wants to get to the heart of it and not be so politically correct, so to speak, and dance around every issue.
All right, well, Congressman, that's about the debate. Now about the stimulus package. Some of your counterparts say there's a noon deadline to pass that second stimulus package before the November election. We've got about a minute left here. Where do those talks stand right now this morning?
Well, the Democrats have come out with a $2.2 trillion package. That's down from their $3.4 trillion package that they had earlier. But the information that I'm seeing from this new package they got is they're really just taking the bipartisan funding out of it. There was funding for the cops hiring programs, for law enforcement that was bipartisan, and that money is being pulled out of the bill. And but it even has things that help legalize banking for marijuana, which I don't agree with. It also it doesn't have protections for federal funding for abortions. There's so many things that are in this bill that still is just not acceptable to Republicans, and I think to the president. And I think the House will probably move forward with it, but I think the Senate will not take it up. And of course, I don't think the president's going to sign it.
And we'll see what ends up happening with that. In the meantime, we appreciate you coming on. Congressman Robert Aderholt, thanks for your time this morning.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Congressman. Of course, we'll have the Democratic response to last night's debate with Lisa Handback in our next half hour.